All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my review for the series premiere episode, Season 1, Episode 1, for the Boys series from Amazon Video. This one is called The Name of the Game. Alright, so this is one series that a lot of people have gone ahead and asked me to review, and if you guys haven't seen it, you can actually watch it if you have an Amazon Prime account. If you don't, you can still watch it through Amazon. I'll put the link in the description so you guys can go ahead and sign up for it if you want to watch the first episode. They have the first season there streaming, so you can watch the whole season at your leisure. And they did greenlight this one for a second season, which I think is done, and we're just waiting on release date for that, or at least it's close to completion. And then I think it's also been renewed for a third season, and JDM, who plays Negan on The Walking Dead, has been in talks to play a role in The Boys, so maybe a small character or something in the third season. But we'll have to see if that works out or not. Either way, a lot of people have asked me to go ahead and watch the Boys series. I've seen this episode before. I want to say about 8 months ago or a year ago or something like that. But I watched it just once with Jess, and I didn't watch it too in depth or make notes or anything to do a review. But since it's gaining some steam and since it's going to be getting a third season, I decided why not go ahead and check it out and do a quick review of it with you guys. So The Boys is a television series or a streaming series that's based off of the comic book of the same name by Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson. Yes, this is a series that is adapted from a trade, a comic book series. And man, this one is really great. Now, I'd heard of The Boys before in terms of the comic book version of it, and but I've never read the original comic book series. But after watching this first episode, I might, because honestly, I thought this first episode was a really amazing pilot. It looks like this is being selected as Amazon's sort of flagship series that they have. So all the different streaming services have kind of a flagship series, whether it be like Mandalorian or Stranger Things for Netflix, or The Walking Dead for AMC, Game of Thrones for HBO, and for Amazon, looks like it's going to be The Boys. So the first episode is called The Name of the Game, and man, I absolutely love this first episode. So it's sort of like this is a really fun universe that Garth Ennis has gone ahead and created in The Boys. It's sort of like what it would be like if superheroes were real. That's basically the best way I can describe The Boys. If you took our world, or something that closely resembles our world, especially if you have an advanced understanding of how our world actually works, and not just a profane, normie, regular mindset, then that's what this is. This is like if superheroes were real. And so you have in this the Seven, which is a group of superheroes that are kind of like the premier superhero team in the world, it seems, at least in the first episode, that is. So they're like the Justice League, and you have you have different members of it. So you have A-Train, who's kind of like their Flash, and you have the Deep, who's kind of like their Aquaman, and then you have Homelander, who's sort of like their Superman. But sort of. And this will contain spoilers for the first episode, but if you weren't thinking about checking out the series before, I would highly recommend it, especially if you're a fan of anything superhero related. If you like, for example, The Walking Dead, if you like some of these more lesser known comic book series that are out there, aside from your regular Marvel and DC titles. But I really enjoy this one because it has kind of a fun take on what it would be like if the Justice League were alive in real life, and what that would be. So it's basically a world where superheroes have been, a business has been created around superheroes. They've kind of been privatized, and they're sort of being sold out by Vought, these different kind of conglomerate companies, to different places to fight crime in certain cities for hundreds of millions of dollars a year. And it feels almost like they're extorting they're extorting, hundreds of millions of dollars from different city mayors or whatnot, governors, in order for each of them to have like their own superhero in their own territory. In this one, we have like a Nubian prince, and sort of the twist at the end, which I really love, is when it's kind of revealed that that Homelander is, or Superman for them, is not nearly as good of a guy. So everything is like backwards. Again, it's like real life, right? It's like, you have their Superman who seems like he's like this perfect, individual, and he's just like he's like the perfect man. He's like, everybody loves him. All of the superheroes are worshipped by everybody. They're a huge business. You've got the movies that run after them. You've got toys. You've got cereal boxes. You've got products that have them on the side. So being a superhero is a huge business. And I love the twist at the end of this episode with the airplane. Those of you guys who have seen it will know, where it's revealed that Homelander is not a squeaky clean Superman as you would think that he is. In fact, what he is actually is probably the best actor of them all. And when he uses his laser vision to to cut an airplane in half with some people on it. So this one's pretty edgy, man. I want to say that it's an edgy series, but I actually do think it's a special series because it's a take on superheroes that we haven't seen done before. It does have the swearing. It does have some nudity, at least for guy nudity. There's one character in this one. One of the 7 is named Translucent, who can basically turn himself invisible. He can become the Invisible Man. And so what does he do? He's supposed to be a superhero, but most of the time he spends his time, it seems like, in the girls' bathroom, invisible, just watching the girls and just stalking people down. And so basically you get the picture that on the outside they pretend like the superheroes are like, the best people ever, and then behind the scenes they're off being invisible in women's bathrooms, and they're trying to maybe extort money from people in the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. They're murdering people. They're trying to get BJs. So you guys see this, you know what I'm talking about. So they're using their star status to the most umpteenth degree, and freaking brutal, man. But really, really awesome stuff. So my favorite character from this one's got to be Hughie, who I feel like if there's one main character, Hughie is probably it. So who Hughie is he seems like he's just a good kid. He seems like he's in his 20s somewhere here. He works at like an audio video store, and he helps people get their, TV stuff and audio. And he's kind of a timid guy. He's afraid to ask his boss for a raise, and he's got a girlfriend named Robin. So Robin comes to see him at work, and as they're leaving, they're kind of on the sidewalk, but they're at the edge of the sidewalk in the street. So she's not in the street. She's just right on the sidewalk, basically. And he's holding her hands and everything, and they're talking and everything, and doing what girlfriends do. And then very quickly, which I watched this scene over a couple times because I thought it was freaking brutal, but also kind of in a way sort of like sick, like dark, like in such a bleak, dark, kind of amazing way at the same time to really set the tone for the series. Basically, she gets ran over, which is brutal. And you get to see it too, but when you're watching it the first time, you don't understand what's happening because he's just sitting there talking to her. They're standing there. He's holding her hands, talking to her, and then after a few minutes later, after you see it through, it kind of clicks in as to what has just happened here. A-Train, who's like their Flash, who's super fast, has accidentally run her over. And so Hughie is basically holding her hands as she's been run over by this guy who, my first reaction to this is, oh, this must be like a supervillain who has just robbed a bank and is running by and has on purpose run over whatever, but it's not. It seems that A-Train is one of the 7, so he's like your Flash, like a Justice League type of supposedly good guy character who runs her over and just doesn't give a shit and then laughs about it afterwards. So it's a really crazy scene. You've got like the blood splatter as he super speed runs her over accidentally. You've got this super blood splatter that kind of hits Hughie in the face, and then he stands there with her hands in his hands, and they've been kind of cut off because of him running through and just running over. So this is a really this is a pretty dark series. Again, it's like, what if superheroes were real? Would they be corrupt? Would there be big business around it? Would there be parties at play here to brush under the rug anytime superheroes do something they're not supposed to do? Would they, if they accidentally ran someone over and killed them, or if they cut a plane in half, or they did something like this, would it be exposed, or would it be kind of covered up and swept under the rug? And that's exactly what we see, is that they get up to all kinds of stuff, and the ones that seem to be the best heroes maybe are some of the worst, and not exactly what you think of. But so it sets the tone pretty early with this incident with A-Train and Hughie's girlfriend dying. They do the funeral and everything like that, and then the episode sort of plays through to where he is approached by, Billy Butcher, who gives Hughie the opportunity to sort of get back at A-Train because of A-Train doing this, and to plant a bug in the Seven so they can listen and get some stuff on them to use maybe against them. So in the process of doing so, he gets spotted by Translucent, as Translucent is in the bathroom spying on everybody. So Translucent follows him back to the audio video store, and he attacks Hughie. And then Billy intervenes by running his car through the store and hitting Translucent. A big fight ensues, and Hughie and Billy beat Translucent, killing him in the process by electrocution. And and that's mostly where the episode ends off. And then Homelander later on, killing the guy who was trying to get a good deal on hiring Nubian Prince for his city. This is a this is a really crazy series. I bet you guys know. I think a lot of people recommended this to me because I think they just knew right away. They're like, "Oh, Trev, you would love this," and it's not something that it's just you guys just me, so you know that I would absolutely love this type of series because I love superhero stuff, and then I also love kind of brutal reality in some ways. Because that actually is our world, even though people don't want to accept that. It's sort of like people want to buy into, and this is actually probably a good thought experiment for people to watch something like this, because this actually is in a lot of ways how our world actually works. The people who pretend to be humanitarians and your superheroes actually sometimes are completely and totally the opposite in real life. And if you do enough digging, you can find that to be mostly true. A good example of that would be Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, the stuff they were doing. And then if you look at Ghislaine, she's on the United Nations. She's trying to be an environmentalist, talking about cleaning up the water and everything like this. And then behind the scenes, she's procuring girls for Epstein and the stuff they were doing. You can look into all that if you want to back check that. But I'm telling you, that's basically factual. At least she's going to be tried for that soon and whatnot. So, but that's our world, and that's also sort of the world of the boys, which is really fun. So we even have Jimmy Fallon in this one, which I've actually kind of called out as being as filming his Tonight Show inside of a Masonic lodge, right? Which it is, which is it's pretty funny. It's even got the Masonic stuff above it, so that's kind of cool. So it's just a perfect series for me. I also like Starlight in this one. I feel kind of sorry for her in some ways because I feel like she comes into things as she joins the Seven. She comes into things with completely agreeably buying the narrative that people are given about how the world works. She's completely buying into it. She wants to save the world. She wants to save the planet. She wants to do all that stuff. And she has no idea that all these other things are happening. You have Homelander who's talking about, like, let's talk about who you saved this week and stuff. Don't worry about the money thing. And then afterwards you see him do whatever. So it's all staged. It's all a show. So I absolutely love it. You guys knew I would. Favorite parts of the episode. I like the fight at the end with Hughie and Billy Butcher beating Translucent down because he just seems like some creeper prick anyway, right? So it's like, but in reality, if you think about it, if people got superpowers, if someone could turn invisible, what would he use it for? It's like, would he be a superhero, or would he kind of turn into doing illegal stuff and maybe robbing banks and stuff and doing this kind of stuff? It feels like, yeah, that's probably That's probably more close to how things would actually be, and there would actually be collateral damage if you had a Justice League around with them throwing cars around and running super fast and getting careless and doing stuff like this. You would have stuff like this happen. So I love the premiere episode, man. I'm definitely going to watch the rest of the episodes of the first season. Looking forward to the second season of the series. And thank you guys for recommending it to me. Let me know if you guys have seen the whole season through. If you've read The Boys, let me know. I'm really happy for Amazon. I think they found their series that is, going to be really good, and a lot of people are going to like. And I would love to see JDM in this series eventually, because I think it's an amazing series. What a great start, and what a cool take on things. And just such a cool take on the superhero narrative that hasn't been done before in this way. Usually it's done the opposite way, to where the heroes are good, and that's what it is, and then the villains are bad just because that's how it is. When in reality, like with real people, it's like no one is all good and no one is all bad and no one is impervious, especially when you have hundreds of millions of dollars involved, right? Then people get really slanted really quickly. It's almost like corruption just comes right out of that right away. So I'm going to give the first episode, The Name of the Game, a perfect 10 out of 10. I thought it was an amazing premiere episode, incredible pilot episode for what looks like an awesome series, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of it. Favorite characters are Hughie and Starlight so far. Let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments below. That'll be it for this review, guys. We'll see you again soon for another. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace later, guys. See you soon.